Holiday Gymnasium for some Big Ten women's volleyball. The Purdue Boilermakers hosting the Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin coming in the number 10 team in the country. Purdue looking to knock off its second straight top 10 opponent after taking down the number 6 Minnesota Golden Gophers last night. I'm Connor Hoke. I'm joined by Josh Hill. And Josh, take a look at the Boilermakers. Such a big win, such an emotional victory last night. How do they come into tonight's matchup against an equally tough opponent and still come out with that same intensity?
Well, I think life in the Big Ten is you're going to play some ranked opponents just about every weekend. For the Boilermakers this weekend, they've got 2, Minnesota and Wisconsin. A lot of emotion last night in that big win at home. I think the challenge tonight is to keep that going so that they can compete with Wisconsin. Wisconsin's young in some places. They start a freshman at setter. Also, their leader in kills, Redke, is a freshman as well. So I think there's some inexperience that the Boilers can take advantage of, but Wisconsin is tough. So can they keep their emotions in check long enough to compete in this one and get another W on their home floor?
The Badgers come in after taking care of business down south against the Indiana Hoosiers in a 3-0 sweep. So they come in looking to try and stay perfect in the state of Indiana this season. But like you said, for the Boilermakers, a big opportunity to make a statement late in the year in the home stretch. And really it's going to come down to their play in the back line and also at setter.
Right, setter is a key position right now. You're just trying to get those wins to impress the selection committee. Purdue is ranked number 21 right now, RPI-wise. They might be on the bubble. A win last night helped a great deal for them and their chances of getting in. Wisconsin's almost in the same boat in terms of wins and losses in conference. They've lost to teams ranked above them, but they've also dropped a couple, just like Purdue, on some unranked teams. So very similar in terms of record when it comes to Big Ten conference play. So we'll see what happens tonight. Should be a good match.
The Boilermakers in the gray, the Badgers in their traditional red with the white stripe. Should be a fun matchup, a top 25 matchup here tonight on Beeland Court. As we get ready to go here for the Boilermakers, Purdue looking for their 3rd straight NCAA appearance this season. Back-to-back second-round exits in 2015, 2016. And with as much experience and talent they have in certain positions, you'd like to think that Coach Shondell and his crew would like to make a little bit of a deeper run.
Yeah, especially with Danielle Cuttino, probably one of the best athletes to ever come through Purdue as a senior this year. I would really like to give her a good send-away present going deep into the NCAA playoffs this year. Played a couple different positions this year. Started out last year, switched from middle to outside, started outside again this year, and then they put her back in the middle for the last 2 weeks. So a lot of production from her. She's hit 1,000 kills in her career. Also, Ashley Evans has hit 1,000 assists in her career this year. So those 2 seniors really want to go out with the bang this year.
As we get ready to get underway here in West Lafayette. Ashley Evans with the serve for the Boilermakers. Redshirt senior, her final campaign, like Josh just said, over 1,000 career assists in those 4 years. And right away, a quick point for the Badgers. Looks like that was Maria Wayland.
So Dana Redke, who is leading Wisconsin in kills on a 50-50 ball there in the middle, she is listed as 6'8".
Sherridan Atkinson able to drop that in on the left side. You don't often see somebody taller than Sherridan Atkinson. Atkinson listed at 6'5", but like you said, Recchi there in the middle at 6'8".
6'8" might be a program height.
It might be a program height, but
she's tall.
She is tall.
She's really tall.
That would be our official analysis, and when you're able to have that size in the middle, that will provide problems. He's right there, Recchi able to go up over the block.
So Sydney Hilly is a freshman setter for Wisconsin, and she is outstanding. A one-hand set there to Redke in the middle.
Atkinson's able to put that one down the line. Bring Brooke Peters back to set. Peters with arguably the best game of her young career last night in that upset over the Golden Gophers.
Yeah, a little miscue there from Ashley Evans. I think she probably feels like she should have had that dig. Anything off speed inside the 10-foot line really needs to be scooped up so you can run transition. So she'll reset, try to get it again.
On the smaller side for an outside hitter in the Big Ten, listed at 5'11", the senior.
She's got a whip of an arm, though.
Atkinson goes long on the serve.
Yeah, that is a great set selection there. On a second tempo ball in the middle allows Cuttino to use her height. Cuttino's 11-foot toucher. She's got some lifters. So second tempo ball to her allows her to get up in the air, create some chaos on the other side.
That one past the block, and Newton is somebody who has seen her playing time increase as the Boilermakers changing their lineup a little bit about midway through the Big Ten slate, moving Danielle Cuttino inside and bringing the freshman in as a pin hitter.
Right, and she's been able to be very productive out there as a freshman in the Big Ten. That's not always easy, but she has gotten a lot of really good reps. So you see her in transition, another great swing, hands out of bounds. That's what you want to see right there. That's a great kill. Doesn't allow Wisconsin the opportunity to make a play on the ball. That's in the stands, so really good swing from her.
Take a second look. Newton just able to get that off the hand of Hilly.
That's a second service error for the Boilermakers here. We're 5 points in. They've given them 2. Those kind of errors right there are going to add up once the set gets tighter in the end, if it gets to that point. And those are the errors you got to cut down on if you want to beat a top 10 team.
As Lauren Gillis able to put that one off of Ashley Evans. Gillis, one of 2 Indiana natives on this Badgers roster from Newcastle, Indiana.
So a little miscue there from Blake Moeller. That was actually a pretty good set from Ashley Evans in tempo. I think Blake just tried to snap it too much straight down. Only one-on-one out there. Wisconsin's got 2 pin hitters that are both seniors, so a lot of experience on the pins, which serves them really well in out-of-system situations. So Wisconsin goes with, they have 3 six-rotation players, both of their senior outsides, and then the setter, Purdue, has 2.
That was a great dig by Emily Dodge, but the Boilermakers are able to get the point anyhow.
Yeah, Emily Dodge had what we call the pancake, so hand flat on the ground, ball hits it, and that free ball from Wisconsin, Stahl put a little bit tight, but Ashley Evans was able to swipe it off hands out of bounds, so great play by the senior setter.
Gillis puts one into the net. You talked about Gillis and Bates, those two outside hitters, both seniors, the only two seniors on the roster for the Badgers. We said this is a very young team, a lot of freshmen, a lot of sophomores, really relying on the youth, but it's a good state of a program when you're able to be as successful as they have been this season with as much youth on the floor.
Right, when you're graduating your two outsides is a pretty big deal. They've got some players coming up that are going to fill those gaps for sure, but freshman setter is a big deal in the Big Ten, and she's been really successful. Hilly has been outstanding all year, so.
This is Tiffany Clark with the serve. And the block of Gillis and Retke ties this one back up at 9 apiece.
Yeah, Gillis is a very good blocking outside. Second time they've gone to Cuttino on that wide slide, and she's been blocked both times, so she needs to go back something. There's their outside. So that's more her ball. Slide is not the best attack for Cuttino. So Evans giving her the outside ball, she gets the kill.
Take a second look. Cuttino able to put that one away. That's the third service error for the Boilermakers.
So we'll have to keep an eye on that stat as we get deeper into this set. That may come back to haunt the Boilermakers later on.
Right now the Boilermakers really taking advantage on the outside as Atkinson's able to put another point on the board for Purdue.
Atkinson definitely using her height to snap that one down. Didn't get time to transition a whole lot on that ball. But 6'5" helps.
Otek with the service ace. Otek, another freshman for the Boilermakers who has had an impact this season.
So they get one back after the error. If you're wind up 1-1, ace to an error at the end of the set, that's a pretty good ratio.
Looks like just a miscommunication there between Retke and Duello. Results in a 13-10 lead for the Boilermakers. Otek back to serve. Big block from Sherridan Atkinson. The Boilermakers now up 4. We've got a timeout. Coach Sheff. 14-10 Boilermakers in the first set. You can see Purdue, Otek with the serve. And right out of the timeout, a point for Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're trying to go back to their money makers and their middle blockers. That's who they roll with. Wisconsin getting back in the action. I guarantee you that was talked about in the timeout. Got to get a good ball in system, and then we roll with the middles.
There you see it finding Retke in the middle. And that's the mismatch for Purdue. Don't quite have the size and the physicality to match up inside. Big block there on the Stahl swing.
So it comes back to ball control for Wisconsin, able to ball control twice, get it to their middles, and then get Purdue out of their ball control system and have to set an out-of-system ball outside, and that's exactly what you want if you're the Boilermakers. So it really comes down to getting the setter in system so you can run offense.
Purdue did an excellent job of that last night, able to continue to get their offense in system and give themselves the best opportunity. And when you're going against some of the top competition in the country, you need to be almost perfect in that situation. As Atkinson, the off speed.
Atkinson uses that off speed kind of like a pitcher uses a changeup. Everybody's gearing up for the fastball, and then you throw that changeup in there. Really hard to diagnose when that's coming. She's very good at throwing the off speed in there.
Bowler able to get one in the middle. You talked about that off speed with Atkinson. Some of that has to do with her physical profile, right? At 6'5", she does have a big arm.
Yeah, reaching high above the block, she can dump it right over in front of the back row defender. So typically when you see a net violation against a really good middle like Redkey, Purdue is trying to press a little bit, trying to get too much, trying to take up too much space.
Stahl able to put one away. Atkinson now back to serve. 18-14 Purdue in the first set.
Yeah, Purdue got a gift there and was unable to convert. Whenever you get an overpass like that, you really want those to be, that's a 90% ball right there. You want to convert that about 90% of the time. You're not going to get very many of those from Wisconsin, so need to make them pay.
Wello with the serve. Stahl puts it past the defense. Azariah Stahl, we've talked about it, an excellent athlete. They're going to need a little more consistency from the senior.
Yeah, Stahl is definitely a difference maker on the team. If she's playing well, Purdue is playing well.
Tiana Williams is able to keep one in play.
That's a great transition run by Wisconsin there. Going wide slide behind the setter in transition, not an easy ball to hit.
Violation makes it 20-16 in favor of the Boilermakers. Juliano Reisinger checks in to serve.
There you see the physicality of Ashley Evans at the net, able to save. Carissa Daimler passed one over, and Evans is able, she doesn't lose many 50-50 balls. She is a very strong setter.
Long.
Newton was close. She didn't miss that one by much. Good swing out of system, trying to keep the pressure on. This is really where Purdue and you tighten down. Only two passers in the backcourt for Purdue right now.
Clark with the serve. Sometimes when you've got a player like Danielle Cuttino, all you need is two passers.
There's absolutely nothing Wisconsin can do about that. Cuttino hit that ball at probably close to 11 feet back in the 5 zone. There is no defense for that.
And Atkinson continuing her impressive first set, 22-17.
Yeah, Atkinson was a recipient of very good first contact. Throws the middle, so she was able to go one-on-one. Middle was late, hands out of bounds.
Ashley Evans with the serve. Purdue looking to take down their second straight top 10 opponent. As Retke able to score the point.
Yep. Again, ball control, able to get it to the middle. Redkey likes to go to her left. She likes to go to that side of the floor, that 1 zone, 6 zone side of the floor.
Atkinson off the deflection. Sherridan Atkinson has been the best player on the floor right now for the Boilermakers in this first set.
So one thing that the Wisconsin Badgers do when they pick up that off speed on that outside attack is they bring their outside attacker all the way over to pick up that off-speed shot, which means that they don't have an outside attacker in transition on that next ball. So Purdue, if they can realize that, can take advantage. Huge swing there from Cuttino off of the first tempo ball.
And now Jenna Otek steps back. It's set point for the Boilermakers, 24-18. Otek will put it into the top of the net. Wisconsin lives to fight another point. As substitution, Riley Bell, 5'7" freshman, will come in for Gillis. Atkinson will put it away. Fitting Sherridan Atkinson is responsible for the set point for the Boilermakers as Purdue takes set one, 25-19. We'll take a short break and we'll be back with more action from Holloway Gymnasium. Purdue Boilermakers taking set one, 25-19. And we had talked about a little bit, we were worried about whether or not Purdue would be able to come out with the same intensity that they had last night. And so far, Josh, in this first set, it's not been a problem.
Yeah, a lot of poise in the first set by the Boilermakers. Atkinson having a huge set for the Boilermakers. Danielle Cuttino also huge swings, especially down the stretch. Back in her old position as a middle, but swinging on the pins as well. So using her more of a utility player in the front row, hitting different sets. So when those two players are on for the Boilermakers, they are really tough to beat.
And really, when you look at Atkinson, 7 kills in that first set. She was the X factor for the Boilermakers.
Atkinson is a right side that is probably one of the best right sides in the country. She's got huge size, huge block, big arm, and she's matched up a lot of times against an outside attacker who may not be a great blocker, and that makes a lot of difference.
As that one is long from the Badgers. As Otek will come in to serve. And Wisconsin has just looked a little bit off.
They look a little bit unsettled. That shot right there especially tells you they're not quite in rhythm yet. Now, Purdue did have 3 huge blockers up, which makes a difference, and that can change your shot selection. But just a little bit out of sync right now for the Badgers.
And right there, able to get the block on the Atkinson swing. Ties it up at 1 apiece as Hilly will come back to serve.
Well, and that's one of the things right there. Defense will always get you back into it if you can string points together defensively, and that's how you make runs. Huge blockers up at the net for Wisconsin right now.
pays dividends right away as Atkinson long on the swing. Azariah Stahl continues her impressive evening with another kill.
Great swing from Stahl there, hands out of bounds, just out of the reach of Hilly.
A nice job of hustling by the Badgers, but the Boilermakers take advantage of Stahl. Back-to-back, now 3-2 Purdue.
It's a really big kill for Stahl. When she's hitting those kind of shots, you know she's in her zone.
Right there, a nice inside play by Duello.
Yeah, that's a great set from Hilly there. Get it on her left shoulder and let her get it to the floor as fast as possible.
Serve from Gillis. And the Boilermakers take advantage of the confusion there between the Badgers.
Yeah, that ball may have hit the floor.
It looked like from our angle.
It looked like a double contact, floor than hand, but Purdue wins the point anyways.
So Purdue with the 4-3 lead. And Peters able to get a piece of it, but sends it out of play.
Very veteran swing from Bates there. Knows exactly what she's got. Very veteran swing from her.
That's a big, powerful swing from Danielle Cuttino. Not much Redkey can do.
Yeah, and Redkey as a middle probably doesn't get near as many reps as some of the other players do. So I know she really wanted that one back, but I'm not sure I feel too bad if I'm her about that.
Stahl puts one into the net, and while the Boilermakers in the first set and to start the second here have played pretty well, service errors have been a problem.
So 5 so far in the match for the Boilers. Didn't hurt him in set 1. Able to get one back, but if Wisconsin's going to help him out and give him back, then we'll just trade errors and it'll be tight.
And that's been the biggest thing for the Boilermakers so far against the higher-ranked Wisconsin Badgers. Wisconsin just has not looked sharp. Reisinger with the serve. Good rally results in Newton with the big arm.
Yeah, Newton was able to take advantage of what I call hole. It's the distance between the pin blocker. If you see there, she didn't get all the way to the pin, and Newton just pounds it straight through that gap in the block. So Hilly's responsibility is get to the pin and seal the pin. Didn't do it. Newton took advantage.
Coach John Shondell, the assistant coach of the Boilermakers, said that Caitlin Newton has one of the biggest arms of any player he has ever coached. And that's high praise considering the number of...
There have been a lot of big arms that have come through this program, so...
Wisconsin able to get back-to-back points, and something we haven't seen them be able to do too much so far, but they are able to knock this one at 7.
So an interesting note, Danielle Cuttino went 3 off-speed shots in a row and lost all 3. So Danielle Cuttino has got to get back to swinging like she's an All-American for Purdue. Off-speed shots against Wisconsin are not going to work over the long haul of the match. Wisconsin is going to make adjustments and pick those up. So that's one of the things that Cuttino has struggled with over the course of the season is if she gets blocked, hits a ball out of bounds, she will go to the off-speed shot repeatedly and not swing. She's got to keep swinging for the Boilermakers. They're a good shot there in the middle.
Yeah, Cuttino has to trust herself, like you said. Just understand that you are, even if you're going to get blocked or hit it out of bounds, that's still a better shot than trying to go off speed, especially against top-tier talent.
Yeah, even though Wisconsin has some younger players on their team, there's still a ton of experience, especially at the outside positions. And all it takes is a couple miscues like that, and Wisconsin's up 2. And they haven't looked good really yet. So Purdue taking the timeout to try to regroup here, but Cuttino's got to keep swinging for Purdue for them to stay in the match.
Yeah, the Badgers on a bit of a run, up 10-8 here in the second set. We're going to step away, but we'll be back with more action in West Lafayette. You're watching Big Ten Women's Volleyball on BTN Student U. Purdue was able to take set 1. Wisconsin looking to even it up. As Clark with the serve.
So I think in that timeout they told her to swing.
And sometimes coaching is as simple as that.
Because she ripped that. That's her sweet spot. That's where Danielle Cuttino needs to stay for the Boilermakers to compete against the Badgers.
That one long from Stahl. And that's where that big block of the Badgers comes into play.
Yeah, they're calling touch. Coach Sheffield doesn't think there's a touch, but I think it was actually touched twice. I think it was touch at the net, and then I think a DS touching on the way out of bounds.
So the Boilermakers knotted up at 10 out of the timeout.
Big block there from the Boilermakers. I think set was just too tight. So Gillis didn't have a whole lot of options when it's tight into the net, and Purdue's got an awful big block at the net right now.
And there you see that big block of Atkinson and Cuttino.
I mean, Atkinson is 6'5", Cuttino is 6'3", and both of them are touching well over 10 feet, and that is just a wall.
Otek with the serve. There's not much they could do there as Recchi was able to put that one away. So 12-11 now the score. Purdue with the lead. Hilly back to serve. Stahl keeps that one online.
One of the things that's really helping Stahl right now for Purdue is the fact that Purdue is passing in system, and when the middle for Purdue is on time, she's holding the middle for Wisconsin so the block can't get set on the outside, and Stahl is the recipient of that.
As Atkinson continues to have a big match. Oftentimes we'll talk about Danielle Cuttino, but Sherridan Atkinson is a superstar in her own right. Stahl not able to get enough of that one.
Yeah, so a couple bad contacts there in that rally for Purdue. Looks like the first contact was good enough to be on line. Evans just not able to get a good touch on it to the outside, and then Stahl just hit it out of bounds.
As Duello able to get it off the block.
Yeah, Blake Moeller for Purdue, I think that's only about her second or third set so far in the match. They haven't gone to her a whole lot. They haven't needed to. She's up there with Atkinson. Normally, she is a very solid player for Purdue. Not a huge producer, but solid.
And Atkinson continues to be on fire for the Boilermakers. (15-13) Purdue. Atkinson now back to serve. And right away you see Wisconsin has figured out that they should go to their 6-8 middle, where Purdue doesn't really have the advantage right now in this rotation.
Well, Wisconsin identified the mismatches that they have, and Coach Shondell's trying to spin it, but he really doesn't have a choice in terms of the middles because he loses things other places. But right now, Redke is matched up with Blake Moeller, and Moeller gives up. Blake Moeller's 6 feet tall and gives up about 6 inches or 7 inches on Redke. So it's a huge mismatch that favors the Badgers right now.
Stahl able to get one through the back line. And we talked about it in the first set. Azariah Stahl is the X factor for the Boilermakers, and so far she's playing pretty well.
Stahl's had a very solid match. This set in particular, Wisconsin has kept it tight and been able to keep it tight. Boilermakers pull 2-3 points ahead, 4 points ahead, and then Wisconsin comes back. So it's identification of the rotations that we can score points in. This is a good one for Wisconsin. So Purdue has about 2 or 3 rotations that are just not that productive for them, and they're in one right now with Evans in the front row. So Wisconsin can run points if they can serve in and keep Purdue out of system.
As that one's off the mark and wide for Wisconsin. A missed opportunity for the Badgers.
Well, missed opportunity, and you can see there the rotation that they're in. Ashley Evans chose to go pipe with Cuttino and ditch both of her front row attackers. So there's a couple rotations where Purdue is very vulnerable to having points scored on them, and that was one of them. Now they've rotated out. Cuttino's back in front. But now Wisconsin's struggling a little bit in this rotation. They've got a senior outside. Everybody's stacked to the left-hand side. Setter's up too, so they only have 2 attackers in the front row right now as well.
And a good opportunity there for Wisconsin. So both teams, when they've gotten the mismatch, haven't really been able to take advantage.
Yeah, that was a great swing by Bates to get him out of that, because Wisconsin, that's one of their weaker rotations, and for her to get him out of that was a really big deal.
So Bates with the serve. As Evans tries to sneak one by, but is unable to do so.
And that's kind of one of the knocks on Ashley Evans, is very good attacker. Sometimes she doesn't pick her spots very well. That one there, ball tight, set it to a pin. So one line judge signaled in, one signaled out. So I think they made the right call there. The ball was out, I believe.
It's going to be 19-18 Boilermakers. Ashley Evans back to serve. Williams able to get that one down the line, and this is just a classic back and forth battle in the Big Ten.
Yeah, this was probably what we expected this match to be.
As that one's long from Clark. Purdue 2019. And this lineup here, this is a good chance for the Boilermakers to try and make a run.
Yeah, this is one of the rotations they run points. This is rotation 2, and this is where they run points. They have Cuttino, Atkinson, and Stahl all in the front row.
And this hit from the Badgers, that was Emily Dodge. Gives the Boilermakers a 21-19 advantage in the second set. We'll have a timeout by Wisconsin. Otek with the serve. As Stahl is long. Actually, they're going to say it was a deflection.
Yeah, there was a touch. Wisconsin was trying to sell that really hard. But ultimately, referee made the right call there.
This is the lineup for the Boilermakers where they need to be able to put together a run as Recky is able to get that one past the block.
Wisconsin substitution 14,
So it's 22-20.
So this is a really good rotation for Wisconsin. If Wisconsin's going to make a run and get back in the match, this is the rotation they want to do it in.
A good rally between both teams. And Stahl able to put it away on the block, and that's a big point for the Boilermakers.
That is a huge point. Great out-of-system swing for Stahl. A couple really good digs in that rally for both teams. So typical Big Ten volleyball.
And so we've got our second timeout of the set. So when we come back, it will be Purdue with a chance to put away the second set here on BTN Student U. Welcome back to West Lafayette, Indiana. The Purdue Boilermakers with a chance to take a 2-set lead into the break. Brooke Peters to serve for Purdue against the Wisconsin Badgers. Atkinson able to put it down in the gap.
Ashley Evans knows exactly where to go when she needs it. And that ball was dug right where it needed to be, middle of the floor, 10-foot line, and she goes back to Atkinson for the put away.
Recky's able to put one away, and even though we've talked quite a bit about the outside hitting for the Boilermakers, especially this latter part of the second set, Jenna Otek has been really good in the back line for Purdue.
Yeah, Otek's been very solid. Redkey there, you see that kill she had to win that last one.
And so the Boilermakers off the arm for the second time in as many sets of Atkinson. Take the 2-0 lead into the break. They take set 2, 25-21. We're going to step away when we come back. The Boilermakers looking to complete the sweep here on a Saturday evening. You're watching Big Ten Women's Volleyball on BTN Student U. Welcome back. The Purdue Boilermakers with an upset on the brain. They lead 2-0, an impressive first 2 sets for the number 21 team in the country. They've got the Badgers on the ropes here, and it'll be interesting to see what Wisconsin can do in this third set. Connor Hoke, Josh Hill on the call here for BTN Student U, and Josh, we thought that Purdue would come out and be competitive, but to be up 2 sets, that's a pretty impressive showing.
Yeah, if you're Coach Shondell, you're loving the situation right now, up 2. Definitely don't want to come in and try to sleepwalk through set 3. Wisconsin's got some senior leadership on the pins, so they're not going to go away very quietly. This still is the Big Ten, so it's one of those things where you just hope that you stay consistent. Kids keep their poise and just keep rolling.
For the Boilermakers, it was the combination of Azariah Stahl and Sherridan Atkinson. 21 kills between the two of them that have really been the big difference. And Sherridan Atkinson has been everywhere for the Boilermakers tonight.
Yeah, another tight pass for the Badgers. Too tight for the setter to handle.
As that one's a miscue from Evans and the Boilermakers.
Yeah, that was a really bad mistake from Evans there on the third ball. Setter just dumps it out of bounds. So those are the ones you don't want to give Wisconsin.
And right there, a block on Cuttino. And early on in this third set, this is important for what is a pretty young Wisconsin team.
Yeah, that was Hilly who got the block there on Cuttino. They're going to come with a ton of energy, and Purdue kind of just has to withstand the onslaught here. And that's exactly how Cuttino needed to come back from that block, was swing again.
It's a lot easier to withstand that onslaught when you've got a player like Danielle Cuttino. Cuttino had a strong first 2 sets, but has been fairly quiet. So the rally results in a Boilermaker point as Cuttino able to put that one home through the middle.
Yeah, so huge rally win there for the Boilermakers to go up 1. And Cuttino gets the swing for the win.
And Bates was just a little long, and we've talked about ball control being an issue for the Badgers so far.
Great decision there from Hilly to go behind, one-on-one with Stahl. Stahl is not the best left pin blocker, so great decision from the freshman Wisconsin setter.
Clark with the serve. Cuttino looked like she wanted to go off speed and just caught a piece of it, and it happened to work out.
Yeah, I think she was making her own luck.
As Peters puts one into the net to knock this back up at 4.
Yeah, so bad miss there from Peters. So we talked about over the break that Purdue and Wisconsin basically have traded service errors in the match so far. So, and there we go again. So as long as both teams do that, it's really not going to affect either team. Now when you see those service errors start to mount up on one side, that's when it's going to make a difference in the tight sets. They've been pretty tight so far, the first 2. So.
And really the biggest difference is the outside hitting between Azariah Stahl and Lauren Gillis. Gillis with only 2 kills and 5 errors for the Badgers, while Stahl had 10 kills to only 2 errors.
Yeah, so there you see the difference right there. So Gillis gets the swing, and then Stahl gets the swing. Stahl gets the kill. Gillis is hitting a lot of 0 balls, meaning that she's putting a lot in play, but she's not putting any away.
So a 6-4 lead for the Boilermakers. And Retke continues to be impressive, the freshman. Really keeping Wisconsin around through most of that second set.
Yeah, so Retke in system is almost indefensible. She had 2 blockers up that time and just pounded the ball into the floor. Now, one thing she has not done on the wide slide yet is she has not swung line. So Purdue might want to test and see if she's got that, set the block a little bit toward the middle of the floor and make her go line.
As Blake Moeller able to get something going down the line, and Moeller's been pretty quiet for the Boilermakers.
So that's the swing right there that a lot of teams do not want to defend. They don't want to defend the line slide. Blake Moeller's one of the better hitters in the middle in the Big Ten that can do that. So she has the capability of going line.
And so the Boilermakers extend their lead 8-5. And this will be the interesting thing with a young Wisconsin team. How do they respond when momentum gets away from them?
So Blake Moeller in that situation completely left Retke. Hilly saw it and set. Retke had the 6'8" middle, had a free swing in the middle, no block. So if you're Blake Moeller, you never leave Retke.
And Retke gets the ace off the serve. So Wisconsin able to get back-to-back points to pull within 1.
A lot like set number 2.
And then Retke puts one into the net.
So Retke serves one in the net there. That's Wisconsin's second. Retke is a very fluid athlete at 6'8". She moves a lot like she's about 4 or 5 inches shorter. So she's going to have a very, very good career at Wisconsin.
She will continue to be a matchup problem. It doesn't matter who they play in the country, like you said, with that size and that mobility. As Wisconsin able to pick up another one off of Duello's swing.
So this is the difference for Purdue in having a freshman pin hitter. Otek missed her opportunity in that out of system ball. She hit kind of an off-speed shot, something that Wisconsin could defend. And then Wisconsin came back and just blistered the attack back. So Newton will figure out as she matures as an outside attacker, you got to swing.
As the off-speed works for Bates, the Boilermakers just vacated the middle of the floor.
So middle of the floor, 10-foot line is a really vulnerable spot for a lot of defenses, and Bates knows that. Senior outside hitter, that's what they do.
As Stahl not able to keep that in play.
So a lot of teams over the course of the year this season have picked on Stahl and serve receive. So there you see again, would not be surprised if they go right back to her.
Cuttino able to respond for the Boilermakers. They knot it back up at 10.
So you see the difference in the result. They go to the DS, the libero, who gets a ton of reps, makes her pay. Then Cuttino with a huge swing on the outside.
And Cuttino just kind of took a swipe at that on the way down off the block and put it out of play. It's about the 3rd time we've seen the Boilermakers make a questionable decision at the net. It's given them, put them in a tougher spot, giving Wisconsin a point.
Yeah, there's a balance. You want to teach them aggressiveness, and I think that's just the play that Cuttino was trying to make, is just being aggressive with the ball. Sometimes you can question the decision-making on the backside.
Yeah, it's one of those decisions where if it's in play, it's a great
Right.
play, and if not, it gets judged differently.
So there you see why Purdue loves Newton on the right side. Newton has a cannon for a right arm. showing it off there to get the kill.
As now Otek will come to serve. 2 service aces for Otek so far. A big swing by Gillis, and we talked about Gillis struggled in the first 2 sets, but there, an opportunity to get back on track for the senior.
Yeah, Hilly put it right in her wheelhouse, and she was one-on-one. Gillis one-on-one like that is going to kill it every time.
And Cuttino puts one home. And Cuttino, in the first 2 sets, kind of struggled with the aggressiveness, but it's not been a problem here in the third. She's really starting to swing after it, and that's when Purdue is at their best.
Cuttino is a difference maker for this program. You see, Atkinson is frustrated because Sherridan Atkinson thinks that she's used to blocking balls, okay? And Gillis is good. Gillis is really good. She's a senior outside attacker, and she's one-on-one, and she can hit any shot.
Hilly with the serve. And Moeller able to put it off the 1-touch set from Evans. So it's knotted back at 13 apiece. And this will come down to who can make the play that's going to separate these 2 teams. Stahl continues to be a menace on that pin.
Yeah, so Stahl is having a very solid match, and that's the difference for Purdue right now, is having her engaged. She is the 0-1, so she is up there with only one other attacker, and it's crucial that she scores points when she's in those rotations, and she's delivered for the Boilermakers tonight.
Service error for Atkinson and the Boilermakers makes it 14 all. And that's really been on both sides. Each time a team has had a chance to start to build a lead in this set, they've given away a point.
And that ball was out.
And Purdue gets lucky that it goes off the line judge. It stays in play.
Right, so Brooke Peter passed the ball. It was probably going to be at least 8 or 9 inches out of bounds. She winds up passing it, and Atkinson gets the kill deep in the corner to save the point.
And then Duello puts one down for Wisconsin. Back and forth we go here on Beeland Court.
So this is what Wisconsin does when they're in system. Wisconsin in system is very tough to defend at the net because they force you to go one-on-one.
Then Rytek gives away another one, the 3rd service error that Wisconsin's had in this set.
And it's the 2nd one for Reddick. Last time she service erred as well. So it might be getting in her head a little bit behind the service line.
Great dig from Reisinger, but Newton not able to keep it in play.
So Newton just got a little bit behind that one, didn't transition as well as she probably could have, and then hit it on the way down, waffled it out of bounds.
So 16-16, Duello with the serve. Newton not able to keep that one in. And Coach Shondell talking to the down judge.
Yeah, I think Newton just got gassed.
And Newton trying to make a case that it was in. So as the score stands right now, it's 17-16 Wisconsin.
Yeah, if you look at the replay, Newton didn't move in the last 3 contacts of that rally. So I think, and it was a long rally, so I think she just got gassed. Again, got underneath it.
And Coach Shondell and the Boilermakers are challenging the call. And so this point.
This big point.
This is a big point.
After 15 in the 3rd set, you kind of feel like if you're Purdue, you want to get this thing over with and get the win.
As we take a second look at it.
Ball's out.
Yeah, it looks out. Great shot from our crew. And so that should be a Wisconsin point, and that will be confirmed. So missed opportunity for the Boilermakers, like you talked about, though. It's a long rally. The freshman just looked like she got tired.
Not a bad rotation for the Boilermakers right now. Have Cuttino up and Newton. Setters up Evans. Then you have setters up for Wisconsin. Hilly goes with 11 Williams.
And they're going to call a net violation on Cuttino. So we'll make it 18-16, and Coach Shondell and the Boilermakers are going to use their first timeout here in the 3rd set. So Wisconsin looking to avoid the sweep here in set 3, up 2. We'll be back with more volleyball on BTN Student U. Set 3 here in West Lafayette. The Purdue Boilermakers trying to pick up a sweep over top 10 opponent Wisconsin, but the Badgers looking to try and stay alive. Up 2 with the serve. It's Duello. Right away, you go back to the bell cow and Cuttino.
Yep. Everybody knows where their money's made. Cuttino's one of those money makers for the Boilers. Atkinson front row now with Newton. So Boilermakers strong across the front. 2 attackers for the Badgers.
And this is a lineup that no Retke on the floor for the Badgers. And a big block by Cuttino and Caitlin Newton.
That was huge. That was a big time play by Newton to knot it up at 18.
And so now the Boilermakers with Atkinson, Cuttino, and Newton on the front line. And the block not able to stay in play. 19-18 Purdue, and just like that, Coach Sheffield and the Badgers are going to spend their first timeout. So a back and forth contest here in the 3rd set between 2 ranked Big Ten opponents. We come 19-18 the score. The Boilermakers with the 1-point lead here in the 3rd set over Wisconsin. Purdue taking sets 1 and 2, looking for the sweep. Purdue already knocking off a top 5 or top 10 opponent in number 6. Minnesota last night, looking to do the same tonight against the Badgers.
So a great swing there from the senior for Wisconsin. That's what you're counting on in those situations, for her to bail you out. Kelly Bates, great swing.
And then right away, Kelly Bates puts one out of play. So now the Boilermakers with the 20-19 lead. Otek in to serve.
So a great swing there from Gillis, who had a huge block in front of her, but she didn't care.
Now opted to go down the line off the head of Azariah Stahl.
Yeah, she just chose one to hit one off the bean of Stahl there.
And sometimes
just go ahead and get the point.
Sometimes that's the best situation.
That's called no fear.
As Atkinson just continues to dominate.
So those are the elite level swings right there that have changed for Atkinson from last year to this year. Is she is hitting that shot, which is the hands out of bounds. That is a big time swing. That is a All-American type pin attacker for the Boilermakers.
As Retke not able to get it up over the net. And now the Boilermakers in a prime position, up 22-20.
So Redke obviously trying to go back across her body into the cross court, and she just got it hung up a little bit low. And Coach Shondell is telling Moeller, you got to reach into that angle because that's where she's going.
And so we'll have another timeout here from the Badgers trying to settle down his team. Coach Sheffield is. We're going to step away. When we come back, the Boilermakers with the serve and looking to close out Wisconsin in 3. 22-20 the score. The Boilermakers with the lead in set 3, looking for the sweep against number 10 Wisconsin. Brooke Peters with the serve for the Boilermakers. And a big time block from Sherridan Atkinson. Atkinson continuing to do it all.
Just like a book, Wisconsin comes out of the timeout on a good pass and goes to the middle. Purdue's ready for it, digs it, and then Atkinson gets a big time block to finish it off.
So it's 23-20 Boilermakers. And that one is long from Gillis. So now Purdue, Brooke Peters with the match point on the serve. The Boilermakers with a chance to knock off their second straight top 10 opponent in as many nights. And that'll do it. The Boilermakers knock off number 10 Wisconsin in straight sets. 25-20 the score in that final third set. An impressive finish, impressive from start to finish for the Boilermakers.
Big time shakeup in the Big Ten this weekend in volleyball. Purdue is on the way up. Wisconsin and Minnesota might drop a little bit, but the Boilermakers, 2 huge significant wins, both top 10 this weekend.
As the Boilermakers win last night against number 6 Minnesota 3-1, and now tonight against number 10 Wisconsin 3-0. 2 big wins for the Boilermakers, like you said. They'll be back in action on Wednesday at Rutgers before heading to Michigan that Saturday. So after a homestand, the Boilermakers back on the road. Once again, the final from West Lafayette. It is a 3-0 sweep for the Boilermakers. For everyone here from BTN Student U, for Josh Hill, I'm Connor Hoke. Thank you for joining us this evening. Have a wonderful night.